UFC 301 has a bunch of massive favorites on that card, but just because there's a couple of disproportionate matchups doesn't mean it's not going to be a fun card and that we didn't find some really good betting spots. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks, and I'm going to give you my bets for UFC 301. Before I do, let's take a look at pay-per-views in 2024 specifically. We basically dominated every single one except UFC 300, and the fall at UFC 300 was Jalen freaking Turner. That is the one in the safety parlay. I would be 5-0 in 2024 premium member pay-per-view safety parlays, but Jalen Turner decided to walk away from a knockout, and then when things got a little tough, he quit on us. But if we look at that safety parlay a little closer, overall it dominates pay-per-views. 9-1 in the last 7 pay-per-views, and that's because a few of them I give you 2 safety parlays. This event, I have 2 for you. I've hit 2 of the last 3 safety parlays. Jalen Turner is the loss. It has a 27% lifetime ROI and almost a 70% EVET hit rate. If you want to be a premium member and unlock that safety parlay, just go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. It's freaking $10 for an entire month's worth of access. If you signed up for UFC 300, you still have access. If you didn't, well, you should, because you're going to get access to not only this card, but every single card in a month. You're also going to get tools. One of those tools is the line movement tracker, opening odds, current odds, win probability, and line movement for every fighter on every card. You can use this to monitor what direction these things are going, if you need to wait or if you need to hit a line immediately. You're also going to get the detailed data, metrics, and analytics. This is 38 columns of information, data that you can use to find spots. I use this for prop bets. As we know, these books are getting more expansive with the bets that they offer. DraftKings, BetOnline, and some others offer significant strike lines as well as takedown lines. This is literally perfect to see that information right smack in front of you so you can find some value, hit some spots. All of this, a million other things I'm not going to mention. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's only $10 a month. There's no weird tiers. There's no here's my DFS package, here's my betting package, but none of that bullshit. $10, you get everything you could ever want or need. WeWantPicks.com. Before I show you the bets, which I will do, let's talk in generalities. Let's talk about some very confident favorites and some solid underdogs. I'll tell you right now, I think this is a favorite-heavy card. The odds reflect that, and I think the matchups reflect that as well. There are obviously some dogs that can make some stuff happen, but for the most part, I think the favorites are going to do what they do. If I'm identifying a few that I'm the most confident in, I think Michel Pereira is levels above Ihor Potieria. Ihor might be the better pure striker, but we know he can get finished. We know he has no cardio whatsoever. And we know that Michel Pereira hits like a freight train, has plenty of cardio, can wrestle if he needs to. Both of these men have met in the middle at 185. Michel Pereira was a 170. Ihor Potieria was a 205. They are now both at 185. But Michel Pereira is going to be the same size, if not bigger. He is going to be faster, more athletic, and he can make it happen. I also love Joanderson Brito. He's minus 182 right now. You'll see a bet I have on him at a little bit better value than that. And I was going back and forth on this. As the week went on, I have gotten far more confident. I always picked Joanderson to win, but as the week went on, I've just gotten more confident and more confident. He is, in my opinion, the most dangerous guy at that weight class. Some people like to say, well, Tatsuro Taira is dangerous. Of course he is. Not like Joanderson Brito, though. Joanderson Brito has wild one-punch unconscious on the canvas floor for 20-minute knockouts and a slew of submissions. This guy will outstrike you. He will out-wrestle you. He will go a million miles an hour. He will stay composed. Joanderson Brito is one of the most dangerous guys in this division. He does have a tough matchup here in Jack Shore, but I think he's going to get it done. Caio Borralho minus 645. This is a reflection of 2 things. Caio's skills. Very good grappler, good technical striking, sticks to a game plan, moves forward, does what he's supposed to do. But also his opponent. I think Paul Craig is one of the most overrated fighters in the UFC. He has a couple of spectacular come-from-behind victories. A handful of fights that he was losing, getting his face bashed in, losing, and then pulled off a submission to turn it around. That's not going to happen here. Caio Borralho is too good of a grappler to get caught in some nonsense. He's also the better striker. He's younger, faster, stronger, all the things. Caio Borralho should dominate this fight. So I think those odds, honestly, even though they seem like a dramatic number, are pretty accurate because Caio's a very good fighter. His opponent is not. And then Motobek Orobai. People aren't going to like this because a lot of people absolutely love his opponent. People love Brenner as an underdog. I get it. He's coming off 2 standing with his fist knockouts. One of them over Garam, who's supposed to be this phenomenal striker. Elfsbrenner is a dog. Elfsbrenner is tough. He's not a guy that's going to quit. And he's not even a striker. He just happened to knock these 2 guys out with power, but he's actually a very good grappler. You guys know I tend to favor wrestlers because wrestlers can control where the fight goes. I think Motobek Orobai is going to get all the takedowns he wants or needs and get this done. He did that to Uros Medik. Uros Medik is way better striker than Elfsbrenner is. And Motobek basically had no issues. And before you guys hit the comment section, oh, what do you mean? Uros cracked him. He did. Did he look like he was in any trouble? Was Orobai dropped? Was he stumbled? Was he almost finished? No, the dude looks like a caveman. He has a caveman head. You're not knocking this guy out. So now you're stuck in a wrestling match with a guy that's a phenomenal wrestler. He will keep a 15-minute pace. He will attack. He will come right at you. I think Motobek Orobai dominates this fight, and I think the 250 are solid odds, especially on a card with a bunch of massive favorites. If we're looking at some solid underdogs, there's only a handful, and I could talk myself out of every single one of these. Jose Aldo, he retired as one of the best of all time. I think literally, in my opinion, the best 145-pounder of all time. He's a phenomenal striker. He basically, I don't want to say invented leg kicks, but he was one of the originators of bringing leg kicks to the notoriety that it has today. Before, so, well, no, that's not true, Angelo. Back in 1980, shut up. Jose Aldo is famous for his leg kicks. One of the few people that was finishing fights with leg kicks back in the early 2000s. But he is old as shit. He has had 2 years outside of the octagon. He has been done a little boxing. He is 2-0 because he went to a draw with Jeremy Stevens. The 2 people he beat in boxing have no wins. Like, one is 0-10 and the other's 0-5. Like, I get it. Jose Aldo is one of the best to ever do it. He is on this list for that reason. For all we know, he looks exactly as he did in that Merab fight. And frankly, he didn't look that bad in the Merab fight. He defended what felt like 200 takedowns, didn't get taken down one time. His striking has always been good. His takedown defense is quite literally, I think, the best of all time. I don't know who in any weight class has better takedown defense than Jose Aldo. And he's a dangerous striker, dangerous grappler as well. So Jose Aldo has to be a solid underdog. The biggest concern here is he's old and he has been away for a while. Steve Erceg in the main event. There's just so many unknowns here. He is so early in his career. He only has 3 fights in the UFC and he is catapulted to a main event. But he's massive. When they stand next to each other, Steve Erceg is massive compared to Alexandre Pantoja. And the easy path is, Pantoja is going to come in and wrestle him. But Steve Erceg is a very good wrestler. He has wrestling accolades in real life before he transitioned to MMA. And inside of MMA, he's got some decent striking, some good jiu-jitsu. He will stand in the pocket for a firefight. The reason there's so many questions is he hasn't fought anybody any good. He just knocked out Matt Schnell. So does a light breeze. So we just don't know what Steve Erceg is or who he isn't. And for that reason, he's got to be a solid underdog because everything we've seen so far, he could absolutely win this fight. But we don't know what it's going to look like in a 5-round dogfight. We have no idea, but Steve Erceg is on this list. William Gomez. There are now some question marks because William Gomez made weight. Almost too good. He was 3 pounds lighter than he needed to be. And it's not because he's a little guy that just walks around light. He looked like absolute shit on that scale. He looked terrible. And the rumors floating around is that he threw up before he weighed in. So we have a guy that is either severely dehydrated, and that's why he's throwing up, or he's sick, or he has the dumbest coaches of all time, and they overcut the weight. How you come in 3 pounds lighter than you need to be, and that wasn't the goal, is nuts. And it's not like everybody did it. It's not like the check scale and the real scale were 3 pounds off, so everybody was way under. Only William Gomez. So he either has the dumbest coaches of all time or he's sick and there's something else going on because no fighter on this planet that cuts weight will just do an extra 3 pounds for no reason. Nobody. That does affect this a little bit because going into this, I felt like William Gomez could win this fight. He's a very technical fighter. He could be dangerous, but he could also take his time, be patient, stay on the outside, pitter-patter, and take a decision. He's fighting Jean Silva, a very good kickboxer who takes his time as well, plays with his food, as the youngsters like to say. I thought William Gomez could hang out on the outside, cruise to a decision. Seeing the weigh-in is very concerning. I do have a bet on William Gomez. I'm just going to leave it. It is what it is. But we'll see what happens the next couple of hours, what happens at the ceremonial weigh-ins, how he looks there. And then we have Kevin Borjas. This is Jacob's underdog lock of the week. Kevin Borjas is a very good fighter. He's a good striker. He's technical. He's got some power. He's an absolute dog as well. He had his last opponent in very, very real trouble. He was then taken down, and that was the differentiator in that fight. That is the only reason I personally picked against Kevin Borjas. But Kevin Borjas is going to be the better striker in this matchup. And if Alessandro Costa wants to strike with him, Kevin Borjas can absolutely win. Alessandro Costa needs to grapple to win this fight. I don't necessarily know that he does, especially not at home, especially in front of this crowd. So Kevin Borjas is a solid underdog as well. Let's take a look at my actual bets. I have a little more than usual going today. I've got 5.25 units. Everything goes well. The stars align. It's the greatest pay-per-view of all time for me. I'll almost double my money, bringing back 9.3685 units. I'll run down the list. Joanderson Brito for all the reasons I mentioned. Also, quickly, excuse me. 2 of these bets are safety parlays. I have 2 different safety parlays. You need to be a premium member to access those. I'm also recording this very early in the morning. We do not have the takedown prop bets yet. We do not have the significant strike prop bets yet. When those come in, I will likely bet on those as well. So this is my slate as of now. Premium members, stay tuned. Make sure you have your Discord alerts on or log in the premium and check, because frankly, there will be more bets here. If you're not a premium member, you're just trying to skate by on the video, well, this is what you get. But there is a lot more that you're not going to get. So I have Joanderson Brito. I have 1 unit on him at -164. Those odds have moved. Almost every single one of my bets are ahead of the odds. So if you guys wait till Fridays and you wait till Saturdays to watch these videos and place your bets, just know, and that's perfectly fine to do. And some people like to wait till after weigh-ins. You're just, in this case, on this card, the value is not here for a lot of them. There's still good odds. There's still bets that are going to hit, and you'll still get your money back and make some money, but you missed some of the value. Joanderson Brito, for example, I got him at -164, and I just showed you he is -182 right now. So that is what it is. I have 1 unit on him. I think he can absolutely beat Jack Shore. He's going to be far more dangerous. He's going to be faster. He's going to hit harder. He's going to be just as good of a grappler. The takedown defense is the only thing of concern, but even then, on the ground, Joanderson is dangerous. Then William Gomez. I am obviously concerned at the rumors that he's throwing up backstage. I am concerned that his dumbass showed up 3 pounds under what he should have showed up as. That is obviously concerning. I only had 1/4 of a unit in to begin with because Jean Silva is very good. So we're just going to let it ride. We're just going to leave it alone. It is what it is. But if that line continues to widen, right now he's +110. If all of a sudden he ends up +150, +160, but he looks phenomenal at the ceremonial weigh-ins, then he might be worth a sprinkle on your end. Then I love this bet with Jose Aldo. We have Jose, it's actually Jose, so sorry. We have Jose Aldo, win inside the distance, decision, no action. What that means is if Jose Aldo finishes Jonathan Martinez, I will get paid out at +120. Those are the exact same odds as his money line odds. If Jose Aldo loses, but it's a decision, I get a full refund. A full refund. If he wins a decision, I get a full refund as well. The only way that I actually lose this bet is if Jose Aldo gets finished, and I do not see that happening. I think most of us don't see that happening. Even if you're picking Jonathan Martinez to win, I don't think many people see this as a fight where Jose Aldo is going to look that bad and get finished. So I think Jose can absolutely win this fight. He can absolutely win by finish. +120. In all likelihood, this bet is refunded, but I basically get to bet on Jose and remove the risk of him just being outworked by a younger, faster guy. Then I got a little parlay here of Motobek Orobai and Ismael Bonfim. Obviously, both of them are questionable, if you will. I'm very confident in both of them to win. I am much more confident in Motobek than I am in Ismael. I think Motobek is going to dominate with the wrestling, get through Elvis Brenner, as many takedowns as he wants, and do whatever he wants to do. Ismael Bonfim should do the same to Vinc Pichel. Vinc Pichel is 41 years old, hasn't fought in 18 months. Ismael Bonfim should be able to do to him whatever he wants to do. He hits harder. He grapples better. He should be able to do anything. Vinc Pichel's takedown defense is not very good. But Vinc Pichel is a dog. Vinc Pichel's got great cardio. And we've seen the Bonfim brothers struggle a little bit when fights get tough on their end, when they're receiving the punishment. Hopefully, Ismael Bonfim is going to come forward, stay busy, and just work on Vinc Pichel early, hopefully break him early. Or hopefully Ismael takes his time, works in some takedowns, stays controlled, and doesn't blow his load. Either way, Ismael's the better fighter in every single category except maybe cardio. But hopefully he won't need his cardio or he has fixed that problem. Cardio is a problem you can fix on your own. So I am thinking Ismael Bonfim, Motobek Orobai. I threw a unit on that at -137. Then I have another parlay here. I have an over rounds parlay. I've taken the Pichel Bonfim fight. That is a 1.5 round line. And I parlayed that with the over on the Karolina Kowalkiewicz and Ismael Lucindo fight. That's a 2.5 round fight. So I have slapped those two together, bet the over, and that pays out at +107. I only put a half a unit on that because this is one of the few female fights where there could absolutely be a finish. Ismael Lucindo is a thug. And then Pichel Bonfim, it could be an early sparking on one side or the other, but I don't think that happens. I think we get deep into the second round because of how tough Vinc Pichel is on the Bonfim fight. And then I think the ladies go back and forth and we get a full 3-round fight there. You're going to get plus money, half a unit. Then I have 2 safety parlays for you. We got the safety parlay at -189. You add your third leg to the safety parlay, which I track as a separate parlay. I bet them separately. Then you're at -115 there. I'm up 5.25 units on the board for you. If you want to unlock those safety parlays and everything else that we do, WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member at the top. Here's a little sneaky teasy peek at Jacob's bets. Obviously, I mentioned the takedown props aren't there. The strike props aren't there yet. Once those hop on board, Jacob will attack those as well and cruise well past the units he has on the board. Now, here's just 2 of his bets. The rest of them are for premium members only. Kevin Borjas, +116. That is his underdog lock of the week. If you want more details on that, he has a whole video detailing why he picked Kevin. And then he has a really cool bet on Joanderson Brito. He has -3.5 points. Basically, what that means is not only can you buy points on the judges' scorecard, you can sell points on the judges' scorecard. So the way this math works out is as long as Joanderson Brito wins all 3 rounds, 30-27, 30-27 across the board, then you get paid. If Joanderson Brito finishes Jack Shore, you get paid. If Joanderson Brito gets 2 judges at a 30-27 and then 1 judge at a 29-28, you still get paid. So basically, it's a way to make a good size favorite a much more affordable fighter. You can do this with all of the massive favorites on the card. Kyle Barallo, some of these others, you could find some value or at least a little bit better value by selling points with the -3.5. You can unlock the rest of his bets at WeWantPicks.com. And let's take a look at BetOpenly. BetOpenly is peer-to-peer betting. It's not a sports book. That's why that first slide I had with those odds, BetOpenly odds, were so much better across the board. Michelle Pajeda, -700 on the sportsbook, -588 on BetOpenly. That's because they're not trying to beat you. They don't care if you win or lose. They're just getting you in touch with another human being, and you two are betting each other. And their platform is just managing the odds, managing the payment, and taking it from there. So you're always going to get better odds every single time with BetOpenly. And if you want to take my actual money, you can bet against the safety parlay. Safety parlay is up in the BetOpenly universe. You can bet the other side. When you bet the other side of a parlay, you're basically housing the parlay. So if any leg of that 3-leg parlay breaks, you get paid. My money goes in your pocket. You get paid. You can also bet against Jacob's underdog lock of the week, which means you would be betting on Alessandro Costa. He has the other side in Kevin Borjas, and you would take Jacob's money. Check them out. Just go to betopenly.com or WeWantPicks.com/betopenly. And finally, don't forget, we will send you $50. Just go to WeWantPicks.com/bet. Sign up with any one of our partners using our link, make a deposit, and we send you $50 as a thank you. You can use that money to become a premium member, which would unlock the safety parlay and everything else. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's only $10 a month. Thanks for the watch. Let me know your bets below, and good luck this weekend.